Welcome back to my blaster build tutorial, part 2. In part 1 we did all the finishing work on this 3D print, and so I highly suggest you check that out if you haven't yet. This episode we're just going to fully paint it and do some leather work around the hilt here, but first I'm going to just lay down a layer of this black spray paint. So yeah, I'll just cut to that. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to dry, we are going to do some leather work. I got all of this. This is a lot of leather. This was just scraps. And I got all of it from Michael's. It's real genuine leather. I got all of it from Michael's for $8. It was just in a bag. It said leather scraps. And yeah, there's different colors. This one's dyed green. There's a big piece here that's gray, 2 different shades of brown, but yeah, because leather typically is quite pricey, but I was just able to get all this for $8, which is a steal. Alright, so what we're going to do is, with my second one that I have, second Westar 35, we are going to try to match this little like indent, except it's not indented, it's outdented. We're going to try to make that out of leather so that we can just glue it right on, and instead of painting this, we'll have a nice grip. So what I already did this, but it's fairly easy to do. I just got some scratch sheets of paper, and I put that on the design and just cut it out. Well, first I traced it because it is sticking out from the rest of the gun, so I was able to just trace around it, and then I had to cut it in half, but I glued these 2 pieces together, or taped it, sorry. And so now you have that template on your gun, and once you take it off the gun, you can just put it right onto your leather and cut it out. And that's what I got. So look at that. That's pretty cool. And this doesn't just apply to leather. I mean, obviously it could work for cloth. I know in woodworking people use this technique too, where you're essentially making a template out of scrap sheets of paper. And so it's very helpful. Alrighty, so I waited about an hour or so for this to dry. It's all dried now. It's not cured, but I'm gonna go ahead and tape it and hope for the best that the tape won't rip the paint off. Again, I can always recoat it if I have to. But yeah, so I'm gonna tape this whole thing up except the parts that I want to be silver. So I'll just cut to a time lapse of that. So I got it all taped off now, at least one side. I'm only doing the one side because it took me probably 20-30 minutes just to tape it off, just because of how precise you have to be. I am scared of the paint actually, or the tape ripping the paint off, so I'm just doing the one side for now, and if the paint gets ripped off, then I can just, redo that black coat. But if it doesn't, then that means I can go ahead and do the other side as well. Just taking safe precautions. Alrighty, so what we're going to be painting with is this silver paint. This has been sitting around in the garage for a very long time, so we'll see how well it works. Alright, so I just took all that the tape off, and this thing looks immaculate. There's no overspray. It's still a little bit wet in some places, like around the base here, so I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and I'll come back to it tomorrow. Alright, welcome back. It's day 2. I went ahead and finished the rest of the painting off screen. her off camera just because I'd had to do multiple coats. I ended up on some of them accidentally touching the paint when it wasn't dry yet, leaving a fingerprint, and then I'd have to redo the entire thing. So I've been through this process 3 or 4 times now, I want to say. But yeah, it's all drying right now, and I do not plan to mess with it until it is completely dry. Alright, so in the meantime, what we're going to do is on this spare Westar 35 that I have, you can see there's a screw right here. Now this isn't a real screw, it's just part of the 3D print. But when I put the leather over this area, it's going to cover that up. And I really like that detail. So I bought these screws from Lowe's, and what I did was I just punched a hole through this leather, and I'm going to put the screw in through it. And because the screw is longer, let's see if I can show you this. The screw is basically way too long. So if I'd had 2 of these, because they're even on each side, the screws would actually hit each other on each side. And then with this cutoff tool that I have, I'm going to cut off about halfway or so of the actual screw. And that way I can screw the screw in so it will, actually have something to hold on to, but it won't be hitting the screw on the other side. Alright, so I just cut those 2 screws. That was a lot louder than I was anticipating, so if you do have headphones or ear protection, I would recommend wearing those. But yeah, I just cut that off. It's not gonna focus, I don't think, but so now we're going to drill a hole into where that screw would be, and then we can just put the leather on and screw that in. And it'll kind of hold the leather there too, because I'm going to actually glue the leather on as well. So the screw will hold it, so it'll be a lot easier to glue that way. Alrighty, so I got that all done. As you can see, it's just hanging here loosely, but it is attached. So the last step to completing this entire project is just to glue this down. So I'm just going to use some basic hot glue. I know they have specific, I think it's Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks, and those have been super strong for me in the past and worked really well. So I'm just going to use them again on this, and other than that, this project is completely finished. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. This thing turned out absolutely amazing. I love the amount of detail I was able to incorporate on it. I didn't show it, but I did put a clear coat of lacquer on it, and I highly recommend you do the same. That just prevents any paint chipping and just gives you, another coat. Please consider liking and subscribing. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you ever want to. I'm currently working on a much bigger project right now, so hopefully I'll be able to post about that soon, but stay tuned for that.